All right, last night, President Biden addressed the nation on the deadly terror attack.
The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack. Possible explosives were found in the vehicle as well, and more explosives were found nearby. The situation is very fluid, and the investigation has a preliminary stage. And the fact is that right now, there you go.
Todd Piro joins me now. You know, Todd, again, Mr. Biden took no questions. He froze once the teleprompter paused there. You know, it does not project, as we said earlier, strength and reassurance, does it?
It does not. Look, I'd like to say this is senioritis, and I don't mean any disrespect to senior citizens. I'm talking about when, you know, you're kind of finishing up high school and you check out. But it's been like this for years throughout the Biden administration, and we have not had that feeling of confidence in our leaders for, dare I say, about 4 years. And that's why, whether they were Republicans or Democrats, so many people voted for Donald Trump, because at the end of the day, they just want somebody who's going to go up there and project strength. Those Democrats who voted for Trump may not agree with a lot of his policies, but at the end of the day, like I said, they want somebody who's strong, who projects strength, and who's going to basically make anybody who wants to do us harm have second thoughts about that, because right now, that doesn't seem to be the case.
It doesn't. You know, look, I have the utmost respect for the office of president, but this is supposed to be the leader of the free world, and it's hard to watch, no doubt. I want to get on to this point, though, Todd. The terror suspect has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar. He's a U.S. citizen from Texas, an Army veteran. The truck he used had Texas plates and was spotted in Eagle Pass in November. We have no idea whether he was driving it or the actual owner of the truck. However, how do we stop our own citizens from becoming radicalized by terror groups?
Part of it goes back to my earlier answer, showing strength through our leadership, but it goes beyond that. We have decimated our law enforcement locally through the defund the police movement, so we don't have as many ears on the ground. And when it comes to our multinational agencies, the FBI, CIA, we've decimated those by focusing on things like DEI and parents at school board meetings. I think if we can return the focus to those agencies doing what they need to do and return the focus of local law enforcement to being able to do their job, there's a greater chance that we can catch these rogue actors because they're communicating with somebody inevitably. That information is out there, and we need our law enforcement to be freed up to be able to find those people, because we well know the rank and file of the FBI, the CIA, and local law enforcement, they want to go out and catch the bad guys. It's just oftentimes they're hamstrung in doing it.
Yes, indeed. I got one more for you, Todd. House Speaker Mike Johnson meeting with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. They apparently mapped out their strategy ahead of tomorrow's speakership vote. Listen to this.
The things that we're talking about this morning are an illustration that we live in very serious times. We cannot afford any palace drama here. We have got to get the Congress started, which begins tomorrow, and we have to get immediately to work. We have to certify the election of President Donald J. Trump. It's a numbers game. We have the smallest margin in U.S. history. We'll have a margin of probably 2 votes tomorrow during that, so can only afford to lose 1 or 2. But I think we'll get it done. We're shifting into a brand new paradigm. We have unified government that begins tomorrow. We have the White House, the Senate, and the House, a totally different situation than we dealt with over the last 14 months since I've been Speaker.
All right, Todd, Chip Roy was on this program, and he said, well, he doesn't believe Johnson has the votes. How do you think this plays out?
You know, that contradicts with what Corey Lewandowski said on my program a few days ago. Basically, it seems to me the information coming from Mar-a-Lago, from the Trump team, is that Johnson's going to get it. And I think that's part and parcel of why Donald Trump issued that endorsement of Johnson. Yet you hear somebody like Chip Roy say the other. I think at the end of the day, Trump's pressure and, quite frankly, Elon Musk pressure to financially primary these individuals who say no to Mike Johnson, I think that could be the ultimate game changer. And if not, boy, the people voted for Republicans in charge of the House, Senate, and the presidency. If that gets delayed by a few weeks, it's really going to hurt them getting that agenda as soon as possible starting on January 20th. And I don't think that's what the nation voted for or what we want.
And this is a big test right out of the chute, really, Todd, for Donald Trump
Yes.
to rally the troops, get all his ducks in a row, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And it seems like he has done that, but there are a few rogue people. You have your Thomas Masseys of the world who said, I respect the president, I voted for the president, but I don't want Speaker Johnson to be Speaker. Well, who then? And that comes back to that, who is the alternative? And I haven't heard that name that can get the 218 votes.
You know, they need the House Speaker to certify the Donald Trump election win on January the 6th. No one seems to know the answer. If we don't have a Speaker, what happens next?
President Chuck Grassley. If everything sort of goes along that line and you sort of go through the we call it in the law, I can't say it because I forgot because I haven't practiced law in 20 years. Table of consanguinity, I think that's what it is. Chuck Johnson is the guy who ultimately becomes the president. Not Chuck Johnson. Chuck Grassley is the guy who ultimately becomes president.
Right.
So, I mean, look, he's a fine guy. He's done a lot for our country, but I don't even think Chuck Grassley wants to be president.
I bet you he doesn't. Todd Piro, great stuff, Todd, as always. Thank you, sir, for being here.